somewhere at the base of your skull, just above the neck, there is a patch of skin that has never once warned you about anything. A car you did not see. A punch you did not feel coming. It stays quiet. It is not built to help. Now imagine that same patch of skin starts to buzz a half second before the danger arrives. That is the whole idea behind the spider sense, the strangest power Spider-Man has. And it is stranger than the films let on. So here is the question. What is the spider sense actually sensing? Start with the comics. Spider-Man first appeared in Amazing Fantasy number 15, back in 1962, written by Stan Lee and drawn by Steve Ditko. The radioactive spider gave Peter Parker strength, the ability to stick to walls, and one thing the others did not have a name for. Ditko drew it as wavy lines rippling out from Peter's head. Lee called it his spider sense. A tingling at the back of the skull that means one thing: something is wrong right now, close by. Notice what it does not tell him. It does not say what the danger is. It does not say where to run. It is an alarm, not a map. Peter still has to look and think and move. The sense only buys him a fraction of a second. But how much is a fraction of a second? This is where writers have argued for 60 years. Some treat the spider sense as pure danger detection. A threat exists nearby, and the tingle fires. Others push it toward precognition, a genuine glimpse of the next moment. In some stories, Peter dodges bullets he could not possibly have seen because his body reacts before his eyes do. The honest answer is that it sits somewhere between the two, and it drifts depending on who is holding the pen. The films had to solve a harder problem. You cannot film a tingle, so they showed you the consequence instead. In Sam Raimi's 2002 film, Tobey Maguire's Peter feels the world slow down in a school hallway, and you watch a punch crawl toward him while he leans casually out of its path. Time did not really slow. His reactions sped up. The slow motion is a trick to put you inside a nervous system that runs faster than yours. Later films leaned lighter. In the Marvel movies with Tom Holland, the power is barely named at all, until Aunt May jokingly calls it his Peter Tingle. It is played for a laugh, but the mechanic underneath is the same one Ditko drew in 1962. Now, the part that makes it interesting. A sense that never fails is not a story. So the writers built in limits, and the limits are where the character actually lives. The spider sense can be overloaded. Surround Peter with too many threats, and the alarm blurs into noise. It can be dulled by exhaustion, by distraction, by a mind too full to listen. And most famously, it can be blind. The symbiote that became Venom had once bonded to Peter himself. It knew him from the inside, so it set off no warning at all. For the first time, Spider-Man could walk into a room with a monster in it and feel nothing. That silence frightened him more than any tingle ever could. Other villains learned the trick. The Green Goblin, who knew Peter's identity, understood that the sense reacts to danger Peter reads as danger. Hide the intent, and you can slip past the alarm. The power protects him from the world, but not from anyone patient enough to study it. Which brings us back to that quiet patch of skin at the base of your own skull. You do have a version of this. It is called your startle reflex, your peripheral vision, the prickle you feel when a room goes wrong and you cannot say why. Your body does read danger a beat before your mind does. Spider-Man's power is not some alien thing bolted on. It is that ordinary feeling turned all the way up, made reliable, and given a half-second head start. And the reason it still works as a story, 60 years on, is that half-second. Not certainty, not safety, just a warning early enough to matter and never quite early enough to relax. That is the spider sense, not a crystal ball. An alarm with a short fuse and a few blind spots, worn by a kid who never gets to fully trust it. Now you know.